This is Peninsula Minerals, uranium stock, and this is the weekly. I've just drawn this little, this big trend line here, just connecting these pivots, and it's actually collected this low. I think this is the Japan low. If I zoom in on there, that's when we had the tsunami in Japan happen, and you notice it's a down bar and it's on ultra high volume, but you also know it's closed well off its highs, well off its lows. So even though they were selling it, they were actually buying in the bottom there, because smart money, the professional money in the market, will buy on down bars. Have to. That's the only way they can do it, and without sabotaging the entry. If you got a lot of money and you want to be buying without moving the price against you, you need to buy on down bars. You need to sell on up bars. So there was buying in this bar, and it did respond by price then going up, but they weren't ready to take it higher. And this is, even though there's buying in that bar, we don't buy straight away, or you can if you want to do some high risk short term stuff. But even though there's buying in the bar, there's also selling, plenty of selling. So that's the danger of getting in too early after there's been a lot of selling, even though that you can see the buying coming in. There's such a thing. If you get in too close to that area, you can get taken out, because even though they're buying that, there's plenty of supply present, so they'll want to be testing that for supply. They'll need to be tested. They'll want to be soaking up as much as they can, as low as they can. So that's come down. It's sort of drifted down then until it's hit this channel, and you can see now as price is going up, that close of that bar, that 8.2, is now acting as resistance for the price going up. So we might zoom in on the daily on PEN just to see what's going. But you're still above the low of this bar, so that's the good thing. You're still above this trend line channel, so that's the good thing, because they're buying at the bottom of this bar. So that's the positive thing there. I'll just see if we can see any signs of PEN. I want PEN, but I want the weekly. I want the weekly chart. No, I want the daily chart. Sorry, the daily chart. Okay. Okay, I didn't draw any lines on the daily, but anyway, there's the I'll draw. Just draw a horizontal line there on the at the bottom of that big buying button. There's buying in that bar, definitely buying in that bar, because how could it close high? And it's rocketed back up. So they're buying everything in sight. While everyone was selling in the middle, while everyone was selling, the smart money were buying everything in sight in this area. And that's and you can see price rocketed up after that, but they weren't ready. Whenever you see those high volume down bars and there's buying in them, and they rocket up, because there's still plenty of supply that down there, they'll want to come back and test that for supply. They're bullish this area. Just because they're bullish down here doesn't mean they're ready to take it up yet. They won't be ready to take this up until they've accumulated as much as they can in this area for the next up move. Actually, I won't do that. This is the bar I should be using. The higher volume bar on after. I'll use that one. So the top of that bar is about, what, 8.6? Or is that 8.7? I think that is 8.7. And the close of the bar is about 8.2, I think. 8.3. Probably should zoom in, but anyway, it's around there. That's where you're getting your resistance from at the moment. But see, on this bad news, everyone is, I mean, it's really bad. Uranium stuff, that was the word everywhere, you know. But the smart money, the professional money, were buying everything. They were buying it all. They were soaking it all up. And that's a really ultra high volume. That's your background strength in this bar and in this chart that we're going to try and make money off of. I'll just put another trend line. I might just connect those top two pivots there, just to show we've broken. I've sort of broken sideways away from that there. I'll zoom in closer and see what now there hasn't been anyone showing any interest in this until this big sharp move here, and this looks like a potential selling climax here. It's just gone down, down, down. People are just dumping it left, right, and center. But then again, look, as it's going down, it starts closing off. It started there, it starts closing off the lows, and then you get this really big down, shakeout type bar, closing high, testing down into our support area, and closing high. So they're buying this move while everyone's just dumping the stock. These guys are buying again, soaking up. They haven't been interested, showing a lot of interest up here, which is why it's rolled. But once it's come back down here, they've used this momentum from the herd to increase their position and to accumulate. That's actually taken this into a little uptrend now, which we can have a look at. Now we're still in the danger zone. While we're below that bar to the left there, we're still in the danger zone. But we are showing some strength coming in. So I'll just draw a trend channel from there to there. I'll draw a middle line as well. Is that just going to confuse me? No, I'll just draw a simple channel that we can have a look at. And so we've started this little up move here, and you can see, if I just mark the close of this bar here, oops, all right. What price is that? 7 cents, 6.8, 7, no, 6.7. 6.7, there we go. As it's got up above this bar, they've supported the top of this bar, and price has gone up. They haven't been ready to take it higher. They want to test into this bar. That's a test there. They've tested the close of that bar there. But the volume, you notice the volume is drying up. They're supporting the price. And it's increased again on volume on this bar here. It's come back retested. It's retested on our previous area of buying. They've retested that volume. Whenever you see these volume up thrusts, you want to see testing within that bar, and they've tested in there. It's actually shifted the stock sideways. There's a nice little test there. See that really low volume testing down. It's an up bar. It's gone higher on lower volume, which normally isn't too good. But I think because of a lot of the body of the bar is below the close of the previous bar. It can be a test as well. In this case, it was successful, and the price rises up. And they're still testing in this area. That's bar there. I shifted it, and then it's broken out of there on volume. So this is starting to show sign. Now it's attacking that area. from the left there. So this is starting to look actually a lot better. This is starting to show signs now, and definitely now you've got high volume here, and it hasn't gone anywhere, but the volume's persisting. So so that could very well be absorption, where they're trying to absorb all the supply, because we've got a lot of trapped holders here, a lot of disillusioned buyers here. They'll just be exiting the stock, and that's going to take a bit of doing volume to get over there. Now volume's persisted, but it hasn't gone broken through yet. So we're assuming that's could possibly be absorption volume, where they're trying to absorb supply. We might know, and it could be that they may want to retest back into the top of this bar again. That might have to come back and do that, or shift sideways into another channel, or if they really want to get through, they'll gap the price up. So that's to avoid buying that supply. But anyway, so you have started a little uptrend. So just keep watching for your testing on this line here for your lower risk entries, but you're still up at that resistance level now there. So we're still making a lot of assumptions at the moment, and I would say until it clears that 8.7 and then see the low testing, volume testing come up on that, you're not really out of the danger zone yet. You can take trades in there. There definitely are trades in there, but your good ones, your better ones, will be over this 8.7, and once it starts making higher lows, a higher low above that 8.7 on low volume testing, then you're on your way. So anyway, that's PEK. This is PEK, Peak Resources, and let's have a look at the weekly here. So we've had this move up, we've had some distribution at the top there. That's a head and shoulders pattern there, but it's broken back above the neck. So head and shoulders, people talk about them, but and you see them happen all the time, and nothing happens. So they're not that reliable. I find probably work out 60% of the time, and some of them, if they worked out, would take you into -0. So you can't always rely on them. But anyway, here's a bullish bar where there's been buying. You can see they've bought this up. Now smart money will often sell on up bars, but that would be confirmed by price going down, but it hasn't. It's gone up, and then there's been low volume testing within that bar which being successful has taken them up to their target sell price, and they will always have a target. So smart money have a target sell price, and they sell. When they sell, it will be on an up bar. They will start selling it on an up bar, and that's what they've done there. It has broken out of this little downtrending channel here, and we've had a response again to that buying bar back here, and it started. We have a bit of movement at the station, so we might just zoom in on the. Actually, I might try and zoom right up and get rid of that bar so I can see the volume. See that big volume up bar? When they were starting to sell it there, you can see it's closed well if it's high there, and then the closes get compressed, and then it's collapsed. It has come down. We've got very low volume, very low selling pressure around this area. We'll probably need to zoom in on the daily just to see if we get a better idea. Here we go. Now this looks like the Japan low there, yep. And there's a high volume bar there. Mark the close of that. So you've got 71 cents at the low there, and got 76 cents on the close. So those levels will act as resistance levels later on down the track. But what we will do is we'll zoom in on this. There's a Japan low, and again, like a lot of stocks on this Japan sell-off, the smart money were buying everything in sight. And you see high volume down, really bad, it must be going to zero, but then the price closes up, the high volume persists and it closes up. So so they were buying everything in sight, they were buying it all. They were using a down momentum from the herd to take big positions in the stock. Now they haven't been interested so much in this up move. It was looking good there for a while. You had some low volume testing and it went up, but but the problem with buying too close to it, because there still is a lot of supply there, even though there's buying, there's a lot of supply as well. The problem with buying too close to really big supply like that is that they a lot of times will come back into that area to accumulate, and they won't show too much interest going up. You can see, and they'll knock it down. If it gets away from them, they'll knock it down like there. That's what they did there, that big up thrust that knocked it down, and that's knocked it back. We're now into that zone, so I'll just zoom in. I'll get rid of those high volume bars there so I can. Now we've come down, we've actually broken past the low here, and that's not what you want to see. But as we've broken past that low there, there's been very little selling pressure down here, so there's no not a lot of selling happening down here. Volume kicks in here. I might try and zoom in a bit more. And this is the low from way back, so I definitely started buying there. You get volume kicks in and it's up, she starts to go down here. So they're starting to soak this up. We started getting we've made a higher low for the first time in a long time. Volume kicks in, it goes up on high volume, gets sold, catches supply from these resistance lines over here. It's come back, retested in this bar, in a high volume bar there. It's tested below there, but they've bought it again, and it's closed within the bar, taken that up. And testing, so you can see testing start to happen here. They take it down on high volume, goes up, comes back on light volume, testing, up. We've had a lot of up days here. Now we're starting to get resistance. We've had it before, so this might have to come back and retest. And so, look, you're not out of the woods yet. A bit like Penn, you're not out of the woods yet till you really want to see price get above that 65. Though, you know, if you're a long-term investor and you think it's really good, or even the 50, then if you think it's worth $100 and it's only going for 60 cents, then, you know, buy everything in sight. But short term, if you're doing this shorter term, then the safer area is above that 50 cents at the Japan low. What have I done here? I'll put this back to the. But we are seeing sign. It's made a higher low. You're catching supply here at the 50, 59, 60 cents around there. We've had high volume up. I don't know what's happened there, but it's closed on its low. So I would imagine this would come back and retest possibly within this big bar just in the recent past there. That's the because there's still supply in there. There's still supply in there, and it'll so have a look. Just keep an eye on your trend, your bottom of your trend line there. Keep an eye on the top of your trend channel, and the bottom of your trend channel, and but at the moment it's made a higher low and it's starting to show signs. It might be making a run up for the. We are above the 50 cents there, aren't we? What am I talking about? I'm talking about the low of that bar. So really, the 62 cents, I should say. Probably even in the close of the higher volume bar is 65 cents. So it is catching supply on the close, the high of our, what's that, 62 cents, 63 cents. If it can break above there and then you get the same low volume testing above there, then that'll be really good. That will give you a lot of background strength then behind you to go off. But in the meantime, there are entries there, really short-term entries. They're not as low risk as if you wait till it breaks above that 62, above this here. But they're definitely there. And you've got your low volume, really low. See that really low volume test? That's a test really low. It's a down bar, really low volume. It's testing this higher volume bar behind it. And that's confirmed. The test is successful. If price goes up on a good spread, you don't want to see too much volume. You want increased volume, but not too much, because more volume means supply. So it's no supply. You've had a response, and you could have taken an entry there, because you would have had this bottom trend channel in already from there. You could have taken that and you could have sold on that one there. Bought at 55, close of the day, and sold. You could have sold the top of that once you saw it wasn't going anywhere, or even on the close. You could have. So there are entries in there that can take, but you are in the danger zone as far as on the bigger time frame, as far as you're still hitting up against that there. So they may want to keep reaccumulating, so that might knock it sideways, that last bar there, for a little bit, and then they try again, or knock it down to that bottom trend line. But it's starting to show sign again, eh? And it's broken that line. Look, you see this trend line here? And that's where have I gotten that trend line from? That's these two tops here. It's actually broken through there and back tested. So that's, a lot of people will take that entry there. And it's also, actually, it's not only back tested that line, but it's back tested where it started increasing in volume here. It's back tested into that bar as well and closed within. So yeah, no, it is showing signs. So you're going to make up your mind. Am I just going to watch it go up, or am I going to start looking for my entries now? But I still think you're still, to be conservative, then I'd have my eye on where it is now. If it can break above where it is now, then you're looking okay. Just be aware of the top of your channel up here for resistance, and keep an eye out on your low volume testing on the bottom of the channel.